HarperCollins presents Where You're Planted by Melanie Sweeney, read by Brittany Pressley and Christian Fox. Horrible in itself, disaster is sometimes a door back into paradise. The paradise, at least, in which we are who we hope to be, do the work we desire, and are each other's sisters and brothers' keeper. Rebecca Solnit, A Paradise Built in Hell, The Extraordinary Communities That Arise in Disaster. 1. Tansy. Of all the terrible decisions Tansy Perkins had made in her life, rescuing 2 parakeets in the middle of a hurricane had to be near the top of the list. Already, the relentless rain had filled the Grant Gelman Branch Library parking lot, splashing over the tops of her yellow mid-calf wellies as she raced toward the building. She was drenched by the time she reached the door, hair plastered to her forehead and cheeks, pale pink tank tops sucked wet against her stomach and breasts. She regretted going braless. Not that anyone was here to be scandalized by her nipples showing through the transparent cotton. No one in their right mind was out in this storm. Tansy unlocked the heavy exterior door, flipped on one set of overhead lights, and jogged, squishing and squeaking, through the main circulation room while the fluorescents flickered to life. Inside their cage, the birds, one blue and one green, squawked at the disturbance, puffing up their feathers and pacing on their perches. If anyone should have risked their neck to come fetch the parakeets during the storm, it absolutely should have been Mary Ann, who had recently donated them as branch pets without administrative approval. But because they were new, no one had established a bird retrieval protocol in the event of a hurricane. And by the time Tansy's daughter, Briar, asked who was keeping them safe, area roads were already starting to flood. "I'll be in and out, back in 10 minutes. That's what she told her next-door neighbor Dottie when she left Briar with her. The scant 3 blocks between her house and the library couldn't get that much worse in 10 minutes. The cage was so big her arms couldn't reach all the way around it, and as soon as she hoisted it up, the water in the dish sloshed out onto her hip. The rain pounded urgently against the roof of the library. Tansy glanced around for a tarp or newspaper, anything to cover the open slats of the cage to keep the birds dry. Upon racing into Meeting Room A, she immediately spotted the big rainbow-colored parachute that she and the parents puffed up over the babies during story time. It was made of nylon or something. Not totally waterproof, but good enough. She wrapped it around the cage, bear-hugged the load, and shuffled awkwardly back toward the entrance. When she was halfway across the main room, the front door banged open. "Who the hell is in here?" A deep voice boomed. "I swear if you're saving books in the middle of a hurricane—" Tansy was just rounding the circulation desk into the foyer when the man barreled in and nearly slammed into her. She lurched back, bumping against the checkout counter. Underneath the parachute fabric, the birds let loose a volley of alarmed squawks. "What the hell are you doing in here?" The man glanced back out the door at the dense veil of rain, then past Tansy into the dim library, where all the books were neatly slotted and the children's corner toys were stowed away in the chest under the wish tree. Finally, he focused on the covered cage, inside which the birds flapped and knocked about noisily. "What is that?" "Birds." He crossed his arms over his sage green polo, which had the adjacent Botanic Gardens logo and a name, Jack, stitched onto the breast. It clung wetly to his broad shoulders and chest. His drenched khaki cargo pants were similarly plastered to his thick thighs. Water dripped from his longish dark hair onto his collar. "Birds," he said flatly. "If the roads get worse and we can't get back for a few days, they'll run out of food and water." "If the roads get worse," Jack echoed, hands on hips, chest rising and falling quickly. Rivulets of water sluiced down his face, catching in his short beard. His thick eyebrows were wet, drawn together with a trench between them, and his nose had a prominent Roman bridge and severe slope. It was a face made for stern looks, just like the one he was giving her now. "You realize that's a Category 4 hurricane out there?" His condescension lit a brushfire of shame just under her skin. She shifted the birdcage to her hip, forgetting it was shielding the view of her nipples.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?